Hey guys, I just wanted to make a video and post some information about what happened when I went to Toronto. I did a research study for ankylosing spondylitis, which is really cool, except I didn't like the pain tolerance that they put you through. It's a pain tolerance testing, a MRI scan, which is your brain scan, and then they hook up these electrodes all over your head, the back of your neck, and around your ears, and they check the waves, the brain waves, to see how your brain responds when you're going through pain and shocks and little vibrations and other things like that. So it takes me, well, sorry, it didn't take me. It was a 5.5-hour day. They had given me the information of what was to come, and I was not sure what I was really in for. So when I went, I was a little bit nervous. I felt kind of sick to my stomach. So you walk in, you sit down in a waiting room, and they make you fill a little bit of paperwork to give a little bit more history about your information on your disease and, you know, your information, your weight, and a little bit of questions about what you've been through, I guess, and your pain scale from like 1 to 10. So I filled out all the paperwork. I had got changed for my MRI, and then they actually told me that the MRI was going to come second. So I had to go right away to do the brain testing where we test for pain tolerance. So anytime someone tells you they're going to inflict you with pain, usually the first thing you think of is, how bad is this going to hurt? So I was really nervous. So they stick you in this little device where you feel like you're in a space suit or something. The best way to describe it from their perspective, which it didn't seem like that though, you sit in this chair and they put this big device over your head, kind of like when a girl is going to a hair salon and they have those blow dryer things that go over the top of your head. They have to pump you up into this thing and your head has to almost touch the top of it. So it's this giant white machine, kind of like a sitting MRI or something like that. So they put me right up until my head touched. They strapped me in. They put this table across my arms. I had to put my arm on this padded pillow type thing. And they tape a shocking device to my finger. It was actually my thumb, pardon me. And then they give me this clicker that looked like a joystick for, say, I don't know, a GameCube or something like that, or Mario. So it was very interesting. So that was about an hour. I had to sit there like that in a dark room that was closed and sealed off to no light and no sound from any other part of the hospital that I was at. So it's this research area of the hospital. I had to answer questions, stare at a screen, and then they would shock me to different levels of pain, and I had to rate the pain on a scale using the little joystick device that they gave me in order to let them know the scale from 1 to 10 or 1 to 100. It depended on each scale. They were all different. So that was the first part of the research study that I had done. The second part had to go for a 45-minute MRI scan, which is a full brain scan. And I'm very claustrophobic, so MRIs are not fun for me. And this thing was loud, really annoying, and I wasn't allowed to have any caffeine because they didn't want any caffeine in my system for any of this research test. So I was really exhausted. I guess you could say I was hangry. I was starting to get hungry and angry at the same time. I was really wanting caffeine, and I was not impressed about how long I had to be in this helmet gear where I was all crushed inside this tight MRI. I never opened my eyes in those things because I'm freaked right out. So I did that, got that all done. And then we had to go into another room, and they hooked me up with these heat pads that they tape to your arms. And when they turn them on, they get really, really hot. So now we're doing really, really hot and really, really cold pain tolerance instead of shocking. So now it's not a shocking device, it's a heat and cold sensor. Now when these heat pads heat up, they get really, really hot. And they put it on your forearm, and the forearm part is where you would test a bottle when you're feeding a baby. That's where they say it's more sensitive to test the milk when it's warm to see if it's too hot for a child. So I knew it was probably going to hurt. So I had to answer these questions as well on paper and fill out other paper questionnaires about my pain, if depression, stress, anxiety, have I ever wanted to harm myself, how negative I can feel with this disease. A lot of basic, straightforward questions that a lot of doctors ask you in regards to ankylosing spondylitis, just to be up to speed on how you are, if you have someone you can talk to, if you have support at home with friends and family, how you feel on a daily basis. Do you feel like you want to get up and do things? Do you feel like you can't? Like that kind of thing. So I did all the paperwork and I did all these heating tests and fill out the scales. And then finally, 5.5 hours later, I was able to finally go home. They do pay. Some of the research studies do pay and some of them do not. So it's kind of neat to see the ones that do and the ones that don't. But needless to say, I do have to go back. So before I start this medication, that's why they wanted to get this research study going. And then after I start the injection medications of Secumalab, I'm going to have to go back 16 weeks later and do this whole research process all over again and explain the same answers given how I am feeling with the new medication. So I'm curious to see how that's going to go. I'm not looking forward to it in any way, shape, or form to go back and be put under more pain, but it is kind of neat to see what's going to happen. I am supposed to get a copy of my own brain scan. I have yet to receive that, but I am going to call them tomorrow and find out why I haven't got that back yet, because it's been long enough and they should have gotten a copy of it. So it's going to be neat to see my own brain scan. I've never had one done before, and it'll be kind of cool, I would think. I don't know. I guess I'll have to take a look and see. So that was my experience with the research group. I've never done one before. I'm always open to trying new ones because with this disease not being curable, I would like to see what their options are, or to see where some of these, where they're coming up with how this disease is coming about. That would be kind of cool. It is already showing like different age groups, different, male and female, and genetics and things like that. So the other part of the ankylosing spondylitis I never mentioned was the HBLA27 gene. I was negative, so I never had a positive showing for the blood work for ankylosing spondylitis. So I wasn't detected through blood work, only CT and MRI. So there are people who are positive with the scale, and there are people that are negative. It is very common to come up negative and find it in other forms. So that's one thing that I did want to mention about that as well, because I didn't mention it before when I had talked a little bit more about the definition of the disease. So sorry this video is a little bit longer. I just wanted to go into a little bit more in-depth discussion about what happened when I did the research group. And I'm kind of having a nicer hair day today, so I thought maybe I'll make another video and talk about it. And sorry that you can't see my eyebrows yet again in this video. It's the lighting. I apologize. I do have eyebrows, I promise. So that's kind of funny. I wanted to mention that too because you can't see them in some of my other videos. But I do appreciate all your support and love. I really thank you. I hope I can get some more subscribers with ankylosing spondylitis, or just friends and family to join and hear my journey. It is going to be interesting to see what happens with these new medications. I'm still really nervous, but that's coming in the weeks to come. I had my I have to go for my chest x-ray still. I still have to do that in order to send that information off. Once the chest x-ray's done, then I think they can complete the processes of the paperwork, and then it's just a few weeks until I should have the medications in my hand, I think. So I should know more in the next couple of weeks, and I'll keep you posted on how that's going. And my cat keeps jumping around like a crazy animal. I think she sees something out the window, so anyhow, I hope you're having a great evening. More ankylosing spondylitis information for you, and I'll keep posting you with that information as it comes. So thank you for watching, and have a great night.